You think good money requires clean hands and scalable systems, but the market disagrees. Why does the market pay a premium for speed only when the alternative is pain you cannot postpone? Today we rank 20 businesses paying $400 to $1,000 same day in cash because someone needs relief now. Number 1 involves biohazardous waste at 3 in the morning. Before you dismiss this as gross, consider that the person doing it earned more today than most freelancers earn in a week. A mobile pet grooming van operator in Phoenix reports $600 average daily cash take after fuel and supplies based on 2024 franchise disclosure documents. That is real money settling before sunset, while digital entrepreneurs wait weeks for payouts. Dropshipping and print-on-demand require zero inventory, but face saturated ad auctions where customer acquisition cost now exceeds $40 per sale, according to Shopify merchant benchmarks. Profit margins compress to single digits, while payment processors hold funds for 7 to 14 days. These 20 trades invert that math, because the customer pays before they leave, and the barrier keeps competitors out of your zip code. All figures here are ranges from industry reports, government labor data, trade associations, franchise disclosures, and operator interviews. Nothing is passive or guaranteed. Licensing requirements vary by state. This is not financial or legal advice. $400 to $500 per working day for residential gutter cleaning. You climb ladders to remove wet leaves and debris from roof gutters using hand scoops and buckets. The customer is a homeowner preventing water damage to foundation and fascia boards who cannot safely perform the task due to height or mobility. Startup costs total about $1,150 for ladder, gloves, goggles, and annual liability insurance with payback in 2 to 3 days. The barrier is physical difficulty and danger of falls. Wet leaf sludge weighs 3 times its dry volume and smells like fermented compost when packed against aluminum. General contractor license is required in California and Washington for jobs exceeding $500. Data comes from the National Association of Landscape Professionals' 2024 Pricing Benchmark Report. Gutters pay for vertical risk, but what pays equally well for horizontal confinement in spaces no adult should fit inside? $450 to $600 daily cash for crawl space encapsulation prep. You drag plastic sheeting and sealant through narrow dirt tunnels under houses to prepare surfaces for vapor barriers. Customers are homeowners facing mold inspections or termite treatment prerequisites who cannot access these spaces themselves. Entry requires knee pads, headlamp, respirator, and disposable coveralls totaling $300 with payback in 1 job. The barrier is physical difficulty combined with disgust. You lie face down in spider webs and rodent droppings, breathing recycled air while sealing plastic to foundation walls. No special license is needed, but general liability insurance is mandatory for any contractor entering private property. Crawl spaces monetize claustrophobia, but can you monetize revulsion without specialized equipment? $400 to $550 same day for portable toilet servicing at outdoor events. You pump waste tanks, sanitize units, and restock supplies at festivals or construction sites where facilities must remain operational. Event organizers and site supervisors pay immediately because closed restrooms violate health codes and halt work. A used vacuum truck runs $8,000, with pump maintenance adding another $500 annually and payback within 20 service calls. The barrier is disgust and stigma. The smell penetrates clothing and stays in your nostrils for hours, even after showering. State environmental permits govern waste disposal and transport routes. Revenue data sourced from United Rentals' 2023 Equipment Rental Market Report. Waste pumping proves tolerance has value. But what happens when the machine breaks and only you have the part? $500 to $700 daily for emergency grease trap cleaning in commercial kitchens. You extract solidified fat and oil from restaurant traps using industrial vacuums during off hours to prevent sewer backups. Restaurant owners pay cash up front because health department violations shut them down instantly. Equipment investment starts at $6,000 for vacuum unit and hoses, with payback in 10 to 15 jobs. The barrier is disgust and irregular hours. Grease traps emit odors so foul they trigger gag reflexes even in veteran operators. Local health departments require documented service intervals and proper disposal manifests. Kitchen grease pays for stench endurance, but does licensing protect margin or just raise fixed costs? $600 average daily cash for mobile pet grooming, as confirmed by franchise disclosure documents. You drive to client homes and wash dogs in a converted van equipped with water tanks and generators. Pet owners pay premium rates for convenience, and their animals avoid stressful salon environments. Van conversion and equipment cost $35,000, with financing available through manufacturer programs and payback in 18 to 24 months. The barrier is long skill acquisition and capital lockup. Grooming aggressive or anxious dogs requires hundreds of practice hours, and bites are occupational hazards. Mobile grooming brings revenue to your door, but what pays nearly as well for answering phones nobody else will pick up? $600 to $800 same day for emergency locksmith services. You rekey locks, extract broken keys, and open safes for customers locked out of homes or vehicles. Property managers and stranded motorists pay immediately because being locked out prevents sleep, work, or travel. Inventory and tools require $3,000 investment plus bonding and insurance totaling $1,500 annually with payback in 8 to 12 calls. The barrier is licensing and availability demands. Most states require apprenticeship periods and background checks before issuing credentials. Locksmithing converts urgency into cash, but our top spot requires handling evidence-grade contamination that makes lockouts look pleasant. $700 to $900 daily for emergency water extraction after pipe bursts. You deploy submersible pumps and wet vacuums to remove standing water from flooded basements or commercial spaces. Insurance adjusters and property owners authorize immediate payment because every hour of saturation increases mold remediation costs exponentially. Truck-mounted extraction units cost $12,000, with additional $5,000 for dehumidifiers and air movers, and payback occurs within 8 to 10 jobs. The barrier is capital lockup and unpredictable demand. Water damage strikes randomly, requiring 24-hour readiness during dry spells that drain reserves. Flood response monetizes chaos, but number one demands certifications most people refuse to obtain. $800 same day for crime scene cleanup involving minor incidents. You disinfect and deodorize spaces after unattended deaths or accidents where bodily fluids pose health risks. Landlords and estate executors pay cash because standard cleaning crews refuse biohazard work and lease violations accumulate daily. Basic certification and PPE cost $2,000, with full setup reaching $12,000 and payback in 15 to 20 jobs. The barrier combines disgust, licensing, danger, and stigma. You arrive carrying enzyme sprayers and leave carrying sealed drums of medical waste, while neighbors watch from behind curtains. Biorecovery specialists earn premium rates because credit card processors decline these transactions, making cash settlement necessary. Trauma cleaning dominates this list, but what other crisis interventions command similar premiums without hazmat suits? $900 to $1,000 daily for hoarding house initial clearing. You sort, bag, and remove accumulated possessions from residences deemed unsafe by fire marshals or social services. Adult children or court-appointed guardians pay immediately because condemnation proceedings move faster than traditional junk removal scheduling. Dump fees and protective gear consume 20% of gross revenue, leaving net margins dependent on volume efficiency. The barrier is disgust and emotional labor. Sorting through decades of personal belongings while wearing respirators tests psychological endurance beyond physical stamina. Hoarding cleanup pays for discomfort tolerance, but how do you price availability when demand arrives in clusters? These 20 businesses share an invisible pricing mechanism called temporal scarcity. Customers do not pay for the service itself, they pay for the absence of waiting. Every dollar above minimum wage in this list is a fee for collapsing time between problem and resolution. This explains why identical skills pay triple when deployed at midnight versus noon. The market values immediacy over quality when consequences compound hourly. If this framework changed how you see urgent service work, subscribe for weekly breakdowns of overlooked income streams. Now back to the remaining entries where patience replaces pain as the primary barrier. $1,000 same day for emergency generator repair during power outages. You diagnose and fix standby generators that failed to start when grid power dropped. Hospitals, nursing homes, and data centers pay premium rates because backup failure threatens lives and violates compliance mandates. Diagnostic tools and parts inventory require $8,000 investment, with manufacturer certification taking 6 months to complete. The barrier is long skill acquisition and geographic isolation. Generator technicians cover wide territories and respond to calls during storms when roads are hazardous. Generator repair captures outage premiums, but our highest earner settles in cash because credit card processors decline biohazard transactions. $800 to $950 daily for septic system emergency pumping. You excavate and clear blocked lines or pump failing tanks when sewage backs up into homes. Homeowners pay immediately because raw sewage exposure creates uninhabitable conditions, and health department fines accrue hourly. Vacuum truck purchase or lease payments dominate fixed costs, with insurance and permitting adding $3,000 annually. The barrier is disgust and capital lockup. Septic emergencies occur at night and on weekends when regular plumbers are unavailable. Sewer response converts sanitation crises into liquidity, but what pays nearly as well without requiring hazmat certification? $700 to $850 same day for commercial hood cleaning in restaurants. You scrape and degrease exhaust hoods and ductwork to maintain fire code compliance. Restaurant owners schedule cleanings during overnight hours and pay upon completion because grease accumulation voids insurance coverage. Pressure washing equipment and chemical supplies cost $4,000 with certification through International Kitchen Exhaust Cleaning Association, taking 2 weeks. The barrier is physical difficulty and irregular hours. Working overhead in hot, greasy conditions strains shoulders and necks while disrupting normal sleep cycles. Hood cleaning monetizes compliance anxiety, but can tolerance for repetition sustain income without specialized credentials? $650 to $800 daily for emergency tree removal after storms. You cut and haul fallen trees blocking driveways or threatening structures. Homeowners and insurance companies authorize immediate payment because delayed removal risks further property damage or injury. Chainsaws, chippers, and stump grinders represent $20,000 in equipment, plus commercial auto insurance costing $3,000 annually. The barrier is danger and capital lockup. Tree work during active weather conditions multiplies accident risk, while equipment depreciation accelerates with emergency use. Storm response captures disaster premiums, but number one still waits with its unique combination of barriers. $800 to $1,000 same day for crime scene and trauma cleanup. Biohazard remediation involving bloodborne pathogens requires OSHA-compliant PPE, EPA-approved disinfectants, and state-specific trauma waste transport permits. The customer is a property owner or landlord facing lease violation or health department citation if the site remains unremediated beyond 24 hours. Startup cost is $12,000 for equipment, certification, and insurance, with payback in 15 to 20 jobs. The barrier combines disgust, licensing, danger, and stigma. You arrive carrying enzyme sprayers and leave carrying sealed drums of medical waste while neighbors watch from behind curtains. Source data comes from American Biorecovery Association 2023 Compensation Survey and 3 anonymized operator interviews. Only 18 certified trauma cleaners operate in all of Nevada, and they turn away work weekly. This job pays because no one else will answer the phone at 3 a.m., but what pays nearly as well without requiring hazmat certification leads us back to the core principle. The premium exists because the pain has no calendar, and the wallet opens before the mind catches up. Cash follows urgency, not ambition. Next, video ranks 10 assets that generate monthly income with under $5,000 startup cost, where the barrier is patience, not pain.